Hey there. I wanted to hop on video really quickly to give a market update for the month of May. There's quite a bit of information that I want to dive into, and so I just thought it'd be easiest to explain that through a video. I have been having the conversation with quite a few different buyers mostly about if it's a good time to purchase or if they should kind of hold off until the market cools down or prices begin to fall a little bit. When they get back to a more normal level, whatever that looks like. And so I guess I just wanted to share some information here, and hopefully that helps you if you're trying to make that decision. I'm not going to make a blanket statement for everyone. I don't think you can do that. Everyone's situation is a little bit different. And so if you want to talk to me about that, I would be happy to talk about your unique situation and kind of come up with a game plan to help you reach your specific goals. But the question that I'm getting a lot is, when are prices going to fall? When are they going to come back down? When are we going to get back to normal? Obviously, the crazy price appreciation over the last couple years is just not sustainable. We're already, we kind of have been for a while, but we're definitely at the top of buyer affordability here in the Sarasota market. And so I guess people are wondering, when are things going to come back down? And I think in order to kind of analyze that, we have to look at the specific things affecting our market. There's different places around the country where prices are starting to fall already. Here in Sarasota, right now, we're actually kind of coming out of peak season. So a lot of markets, the summer is the peak season when weather's nice and families aren't in school anymore. Here in the Sarasota Bradenton area, typically our peak season is January through March or April. So we're kind of coming out of that already, and we actually are seeing inventory come up just a little bit. So starting in September of 21 through February of this year, we've seen inventory drop steadily every month. We actually were down to like half a month of inventory at one point, which basically means that if no new houses come on the market starting today, in half a month or 15 days, all of those would be sold. So that's insanely low. The last few months, basically March, April, and so far in May, we've seen a slight uptick in inventory, which is like a ray of hope or a little encouragement. It should be for you buyers out there. That you might be seeing some more options come on the market or have a little bit less competition when you do go to put an offer on a house. So let that be an encouragement to you. If you're looking to buy, don't give up. But inventory is still low. We're still under 1 month of inventory, but even a little bit is definitely helpful. So part of the reason for that is the seasonality. That we're coming out of our peak season. Also, the rising interest rates are playing into that, as rates were about 3% back in December, and now we're up over 5% for the average 30-year mortgage. That's huge for just an average home. You're going to have over $500 higher in mortgage payments just because of interest alone in the last few months. So that's going to knock even more buyers out when affordability was already kind of at their peak. So I guess that leads to the question of prices and when prices are going to start to come down. And I think to understand that, you have to look at what has caused the prices to be so high in the first place. And really what it is supply and demand. Ever since the crash in 08 and 09, we have not built enough homes to meet the demand. And so we're talking about years of this kind of compounding and creating this big issue where supply just can't keep up. And then when you also add in the fact that builders are facing labor shortages and their own supply chain issues, it's just kind of making that problem worse. So a lot of new construction communities right now are building 12 months out. So if you want to go and put a deposit down, you're looking at usually at least a year until you'll be able to get the keys to your new house. So it's going to take a while for our supply to catch up with demand, and I think that in itself is an indicator that we're not going to see prices drop anytime soon. Until we can get that supply and demand balanced out. Prices are going to stay high. And I guess to give you some numbers right now, the average prices of sold homes in April in Sarasota and Manatee counties combined were $626,000. That's the first month ever that prices have been over $600,000. It's up 5.5% from last month and up 16% from a year ago. So, I mean, that we're not seeing prices fall yet, even though we are seeing inventory start to increase maybe a little bit. Prices are still very high. Average days on market are still less than 20 in April, which is the lowest that I've ever seen. When you look at your average price per square foot, we're at like $370 a square foot last month. So all of these kind of data points indicate that the market's still hot and prices are still high. The fact that inventory is rising slightly, that's kind of a leading indicator of a potential market cool down. So we could be seeing that in the future, but prices are going to be one of the last things to actually come down. So I think, and not just me, but a lot of other professionals that I've talked to or other people that have expertise in this area are predicting prices to continue to rise throughout the rest of the year at least. So I guess to kind of wrap everything up here, I think you just need to look at all this information, look at your specific situation, and decide what's best for you. And if you want to wait to purchase a home, I definitely understand that. And for some people, that definitely will make sense. So just kind of consider the potential cost of doing that. And like I said, give me a call, reach out, and I'd love to talk with you too about, this market and your specific situation and maybe what the best decision would be for you. Thanks for listening.